So this purple bass, back in the days, after I got it, I would walk up and down Beale Street with it and go into clubs and take gigs.
Yeah.
Sure would. And, it was just that moment of head cutting,
Yeah.
It was respect, but, you better come with it, Back to the purple bass.
Yeah, so what records did you play this bass on?
Oh, man.
What year you get this bass?
Man, let me think. Man, 70.
70?
I'm
you
thinking.
You got this bass in 70?
That bass old, Jack. Let me see.
Yeah, it looks 80s.
I got that bass. I got the bass before I played Drop That Zero. I'm So Hot, all this stuff. Because I played a Schecter on some of the stuff back in the day in my Music Man.
So what bass did you play on I'm So Hot, Denise LaSalle album?
The Music Man.
The Music Man?
Yeah, Music Man, double pickups.
You played that whole album, didn't you?
Yeah. That's another story. I won't mention names. I went in, and it comes up to the purple bass again. Where do you want? I went in Muscle Shoals, and at that time they were doing a lot of computer stuff. And Carl Marsh, very famous computer back then. They had the ARP 2600, and he was an expert. He traveled from Northeast and West doing sessions from California, Nashville, you name it, Alaska, and it would take a day and a half to program that ARP 2600 because it was patches.
Yeah.
And Carl was still in it. He's still doing it. He lives in Nashville now, and there was a lot of sequence stuff going on. And we were cutting I'm So Hot and other stuff on Denise LaSalle album, and. Of course, they didn't ask you if you could do it. You call it a session. So I come up with a system. Rather than to play double the sequencer, which is impossible, because if you get an increment out of sync, you're going to throw the track. And I just will thank you, the creator, for enlightening me about that. So what I started doing was thinking about a guitar and rhythm part and playing parts against the synthesizer, and that's what got my work. I played with everybody with that. I wasn't playing. So in that phase, that's what I did. Okay. I played fragments. And I had William Brown, God rest his soul, to push it up. And it depends on the song. If I use the flanger, I was in the flangers and chorus back then. And matter of fact, it wasn't MXR stuff. It was, I can't think of the name of it now. The stuff I was using. It was actually, I used a lot of guitar stuff. I used wah-wah on the bass back in high school. Anything with a quarter-inch plug on, I was going to plug my bass up on it. So the purple bass, I played Drop That Zero on it. I Am Love, that album. Child of the Ghetto, that's another album.
That's Denise or somebody else?
Child of the Ghetto?
Yeah.
You ain't heard that?
No.
Oh, man.
That's an album?
What?
Hold on.
I played on, if I'm not mistaken,
right.
Because Ego, I ain't thinking about no Ego. I look back. I played on over 200, that was years ago, 250 CDs, and didn't know what some of my friends.
Can you name them all right now? I'm just joking.
Denise LaSalle?
Yeah.
Man, I don't see no car outside the window. No, I'm just.
No, okay.
The Bitch Is Bad. Man, I played on about 8 of her albums.
Okay.
And this is a good story with the purple bass.
Purple bass.
The cats that I didn't know about till later on, no racism intended, because it was a blessing. Like Bobby Caldwell, everybody thought he was of another color from another mother. These cats, I saw a documentary about Muscle Shoals, and all these cats played on I'll Take You There and Cats. Man, I was like, what?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So these same cats came in the studio to see what Marvell Thomas, Michael Toles, Kenny Ray Kite, James Robinson, and I were doing on Denise LaSalle sessions, because everything we recorded, for whatever reason, Muscle Shoals put it out. A lot of their stuff they played on didn't get put out. It was put out of good hardness, like Long Dong Silver. You gotta lick it before you stick it. Our stuff got put out.
Yep.
So they came and sat in and see what we're doing. I don't know what they figured out, because we weren't doing nothing. We didn't talk about theory. We didn't talk about nothing. We just listened to each other. That was it. And James Robinson kept that studio pocket. Wasn't no flair.
Yep.
I mean, straight 2/4 beat.
Yep.
Because he understood simplicity.
Yep.
And, you know, Michael told, we just listened, man. We just listened. Even in the studio, we played crescendos. We didn't deal with the fade and stuff. We faded. We faded. It probably had to do with us working together live with Rufus Collar, Boss Skaggs, Michael McDonald, can name them, man. Can name that this band, somewhat people could reflect to knowing some music history. Like Toto, they were a studio band at first. Well, this band, Marvell, or musicians, Marvell Thomas, Michael Toll, James Robinson, Kenny Ray Kite, and myself, along with other times Lester Snell, we did all this stuff. But this bass played on Pop Staples stuff, Shirley Brown, Denise LaSalle, Michael McDonald, Boss Skaggs. I did Boss Skaggs in California, this club with, I didn't know who the cat was then, Freddie Reddy Washington. They were asking me about this bass, you know, and at that time I was using this acoustic big refrigerator with 4 15s in it. And it's, you know, I played with a lot of high end. A lot of people will tell me, man, it sound like you cooking bacon. No, I'm not cooking it, I'm frying it. Because I was in there that top end to cut. To cut. I wasn't into that muddy crap, man. You know, and this bass taught me voicing and continuity of sound. And I carried on. Now, everybody got their own thing, and not knocking it, but in note value. Because this bass don't lie. If you play it over, it's not playing staccato, it's note value. And this comes from an unconservatory cat. Your heart beat note value. When your heart not beating right, you have a heart attack because the value of the beats ain't right. You know, so now this bass, I gifted my son with it, and I didn't know he wanted it over the years.
I wanted it.
Because it's been setting up at the house after I returned from Italy. I didn't even play it that much in Italy. I had it on tour with Zucchero as a backup bass in my Warwick that I got when I was playing with Zucchero, because this stuff was 5-string stuff. I never was into a 5-string bass because it was like 4 strings. You know, and I'm back on 4 strings at the house, and I found out a 5-string is distracting for me. I mean, I can still play it, reinsert myself, but a 4-string bass, it's it, man. I mean, you can say Jaco played it, did everything on it. You got all these cats in Motown, Jimmy Jameson, the cat that played with, played on the Michael Jackson thing, sax player with,
Wilton Felder?
Winton Felder. A lot of people think that was Jimmy Jameson on I Want You Back and stuff. That was Winton Felder, man. That 4-string, man. And then a lot of cats, with all due respect, they overuse that 5th string. They stay in the mud. Now, one cat didn't enlighten me to the uses of 5th string. I don't know why I can't think it's now. Now, it was the bass player, the music director with Whitney Houston.
Ricky Minor?
Ricky Minor. I was listening to her tracks back in the day as I Will Always Love You, and it's where he played that 5th string that would open up the chord in the voice. Not overused. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what this cat doing, man. Not even start out with a song in that voice, in that lower voice. It's cool. Things change. Evolution happens. But don't use it, but don't abuse it. You know, and you know, be aware of overplaying, man. You know, cats, it's the pocket, man. That's what gets you work, man. It ain't, you know, you're playing with a singer, you playing more than a singer singing. And then on the dynamics. Then it's, you know, that purple bass taught me that even before that, you know.
So let's talk about your history with the Barcades. Most definitely.
Okay. The Barcades, after a while, it came about.
You played this bass with them too, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I had that. I had the red one, the purple one, in my Sabri Music Man.
Like on that tape you gave me, it's a live performance. What bass you used?
That one? The purple one.
You did.
We were in California somewhere there on that bass. That's that cassette.
Man.
It's that one.
I studied that tape so much.
Yeah, it's that one. And I'm get mad. That group of the Barcade, we were hitting.
Are you sure it was?
We were hitting and singing.
That tape was crazy.
We didn't have no background singing, and it was high energy.
Yeah.
Man, Frank Thompson, Winston Stewart, Harvey Henderson. That was the horn section.
Yep.
Hubert Crawford. It sometimes be buckboard. Lord Smith on guitar. Larry Dodson, Mark Bynum, and myself. Mark pushed me to play synthesizer with him. So it was 2 Moog synthesizers on stage.
You play key?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
With the Barcades on that gig.
Yeah. Okay.
So Winston embraced. We would be at rehearsal in Binghamton, William Jack Studio, known studio in Memphis, rehearsal hall, and Bubba Mark Bynum, we called him Bubba from high school.
Yep.
He was playing, I think we were doing Holy Ghost. And I said, Winston, man, I got this groove to play my. Winston said, play it, man, play it. So it was like a double move thing happening, man.
Yep.
And I would throw my bass, that purple bass behind my back with the strap locks. That's the only way. And hey, man, so I played that bass on Animal, Contagious, and Certified Truth.
Yep.
That purple bass back in the days. And it was with me, man. You know, Japanese made back then. I'm thinking that bass.
Yeah.
My son says the 80s. It could have been.
It got to be. It looked like some 80s shit.
Yeah, it's the original.
And the tone?
Japanese made hardware, pickups, wood, everything Japanese. I changed nothing on it. One thing I did change when I was like comfortable in myself, I wanted that top end like that DX7.
Yeah.
I call it that Ice Cube sound. Babyface used it a lot in the days. That DX7, y'all don't remember that sound. So what I did, I put a transducer under the bridge. Because the top ends was splitting, baby.
On this bass?
Yes, sir. It's a transducer under it. I did it.
Well, nigga, shit.
It's just wired in. It ain't no switch or nothing.
Okay.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I was looking for that DX7 sound where it didn't split or break up.
Okay.
So for some reason, I said, I'm going to put a transducer under the bridge. And all the wiring on that bass, I don't know nothing about wiring. I mean, it's in them vibes. If a wire connection to the pickups or from the preamp had like a gauge 2 on it, I would go to 3. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It didn't matter about the color. I would just go up a step. So at that time, I rewired the pickups. I rewound the pickups by hand. I was comfortable in. I strip it off and sit down there and I had my shit. So I would sit down, hand wound the pickups. That's what happened with that bass.
Okay. Oh, shit. That's why you here, so I can know.
Yeah, it's the transducer under that bridge.
Okay.
I don't know what name, brand.
Yeah.
I was getting shit from radio. Excuse me, I said shit, yeah.
No, you good.
Free country. I was getting shit from Radio Shack back then.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've done nothing. I dropped it one night at a gig.
Was it here in Memphis or somewhere?
It was in Memphis at Club Royale.
Oh, shit.
In the back parking lot.
Okay.
And I got home and taken it out the case, and I didn't see it. I was getting ready to change strings, and the head went like a V. I was like, oh, shit. So I got some wood glue. I don't know why. And I dipped some rawhide strips in some water, and I put it under infrared light for about 5 minutes. And it's never come loose, didn't change the intonation, didn't change the neck setup, none. That's what I did.
Yep.
I was in another planet then. I didn't ask nobody nothing. I would try shit.
Yep.
You know, I had a Greco bass that I did a lot of cutting with Nico. I went to Japan and come back. I lost that bass. That solo you had put online.
Yeah, yep.
That crazy solo. It was with that Greco bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know then. I traded a Gibson that I played the Hot Wooden Sticky album with that I got from JC for $150 brand new. I played that album with that bass, and I traded it for that Greco because they knew this American-made Gibson. So I left out the store, the Greco bass, case, roll case, everything.
Yep.
The land of the sliding doors and slant-eyed whores. Okay.
So let me see.
Go ahead. Ask me the question, man.
I got so much I want to know.
That's
but
okay.
I ain't going to try to keep you too long.
Man, I'm here.
I know.
I don't want to go home.
I know.
I'm at home.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
I guess.
Pray the Lord.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What about my grandfather, Charles Thomas? Tell me some shit about him.
My father, his granddad. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start at the baby thing. how DNA, environment, and just destiny.
Yep.
When I was a kid, I had a bassinet, wicker bassinet. I remember because after I grew up, they still had it.
Yeah.
It was beige colored.
Yep.
And they would put me in that bassinet, they told me, and I would throw my arms out and go crazy. I mean, you got me in confinement. Fuck this. So my dad would put on that. I got some of his records now. It's in storage. You talking about 76, 78, whatever that thick 45 records. They would put on cereal with the fringe on top, and that what call me. And my mom told me, I was like, what? So as years passed by, I didn't know it. I didn't know who recorded. And I was watching Gone with the Wind, something like that, one of them shows or whatever, and it was on there, and it took me back to my childhood. So I grew up hearing my dad, he would take me to his father's house. My dad, Mono's granddad, Charles Edward Thomas Jr., he grew up playing keyboards in the church, at his father's church, my grandfather's church. And he was like a jazzer, you know. And he would take me as a kid to his father's house where they had a grand piano in one of the rooms. And I was set up under the piano as a kid. And I guess, of course, like Mono said, when he was a kid, he would come to shows even when he was in his mother's bed. She would come to the studio. So people, frequencies and vibrations are real.
Yep.
I don't care what you say. So I'm hearing all this jazz and stuff. I know who Mator Khan, what's his name? Tyner.
McCoy Tyner? Yep.
McCoy Tyner and all these cats. But I guess that's why I'm like, have been, and don't give excuses for it. I hear stuff other people don't. For that moment. I'm not a theory deep cat, man. It just, I just hear it. Like Mono, just hear it. As a kid, they would tell me, man, you overplay. I heard too much. I settled down being more seasoned and understanding. You know, people told my son, you overplay. It ain't, look, bro, look, everybody got a different learning curve. Ain't nobody wrong or right.
Yep.
You don't play the wrong note, thanks to Victor Wooten.
Yep.
You know, so Granddad, he listened, man. He listened. And people will deny this, but this coming from the inside. Ben Branch stayed in Tillman Cove. He was coming to our house and play in the apartment, 2-bedroom apartment in Binghamton on Crystal.
Yep.
Finest Newborn. Famous, well known. My dad taught Finest Newborn. James
Williams.
James Williams.
Yep.
All those cats hung around my dad,
Mongrel
Miller, to get licks.
Yep.
It wasn't him. Look, what? But that's not the unsung cat because we all here to give. Some people give without thanking you or letting you be known that I didn't just find this out by myself. I was in the presence of this cat. You know, so it is what it is. There's no remorse about it or anger. It's just what it is. My cat, my dad, he was incredible, man. He had a left hand was off the chain. But I think I got some of him from him, like Mono, about the respect and sincerity and seriousness of a gift. And you find yourself in battles not conforming. Not that a person is less. You want to give, but they don't want to hear it.
Yep.
You want to give them an insight of a working environment. But these cats so, you so sucked up on hearing what these people are crediting you with, and they will stick you in your back. They got a 6-inch knife and leave 2 inches out. That's, hey, what? So, you know, me and my son have always been destiny, the outsiders.
Yep.
You know, I say it now. My dad, he could read, write. He wrote songs for his wife. Dave Weckl played on some of the CDs. He got Ron Carter. Oh, he played with a lot of cats.
He played with Dave Weckl too?
What? You ain't got the CD with Dave Weckl on it?
No, I got the shit with Billy Higgins and Ron Carter.
Yeah.
And
some other cat.
Yeah.
But Dave Weckl, man.
Yeah.
Ron Carter gave me a bass. I was playing with Exotic Movement.
Okay.
They went to Galaxy. We were there still. We were playing a club called the Black Orchid in Little Rock all the time. And Ron Carter gave my dad a bass. That's when I found out, didn't know then, upright 5-string bass that was made in the year I was born, 1958. So a 5-string bass is nothing new. Mm-hmm. It's been around.
Yep.
Contra bass. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where it is now. But anyway, no, my dad, he was a humble cat. And he never wanted to be famous.
Yeah, I read something about that.
Yeah.
When he joined the Duke Ellington.
Yeah, man, yeah, they man.
Yeah.
Your granddad played with, man. But one person that didn't frighten him, but he had so much respect, was Stevie Wonder. Mm-hmm. He used to say out there, man, that cat be playing some crazy stuff, man. Stevie, man, and that's why I say, cats, man, listen to it, man. Don't be in a hurry to say, I got it.
Yep.
Because when you do, you close the door on learning. You close the door. Man, it's be so much stuff. And now, this digital age, you got everything at your feet. When we were coming up, man, when we would learn a song, it would be on WLOK, the album hour, and everybody get their little cassette players and catch the commercial and everything to learn some intricate Earth, Wind, and Fire stuff back then or whatever. And we played to the best of our understanding, but now you cats got everything right there. And it can make you lazy, and it can be a gift. Mm-hmm. Don't lose your ears, man.
Yep.
Don't lose your ears, man.
Yep.
Keep your ears, man. Play it in the right register. Mm-hmm. People gonna hate me out of this interview, but I don't care.
Nah.
It's because I asked keyboard players and guitar player, man, why are you playing the guitar? Why are you playing in the same register of the keyboard? You can play so much, man. You can play chord fragments. You can play motor rhythm. You can play other inversion. You don't need to play the same chord the keyboard player playing. It's already been played.
Yep.
What? And voicing it. You playing with some cats, man. They playing, the voice might be a baritone or a tenor. Mm-hmm. And you playing all this stuff up in a high register. Mm-hmm. Do you know? And I don't know. I ain't been to no Berkeley or nothing. Just listening, man. Yep. Sooner or later you'll pick it up. Yep. Sooner or later you'll hear it. Not too quick to say, I got it. Because you don't. Anything come quick, it ain't had no value to it, man. Yep. Input is output. And that's what my son does. That's what I did. Up all night playing. My parents didn't say nothing to me. I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning blasting. It was school the next day. They never said, turn that off. You got to, no, So, embrace the grace. Take your time, man. Take your time. Get out the assembly line, bro. Play you. Get out the commercialism. You're scared to take a chance? Write some stuff.
Yep.
You too busy sampling and writing stuff that already been done. Mm-hmm. Build a bridge next to the old bridge.
Yep.
Man, God. Embrace the grace. You got a gift. You got a gift, man. You don't need nobody to tell you. My daughter in Italy, Mono's sister, she had started playing piano. She came to me one time. She said, Dad, how I sound? I looked at her, I said, don't you ever ask me that again.
Yeah.
She was about 9 or 10. She looked, face broke. I said, you need to know how you sound. Mm-hmm. You need to know when you don't sound right. You don't need nobody to tell you you ain't got but $20 in your pocket. Mm-hmm. Same analogy. You be honest with yourself. Cutting the Memphis Horns album with that purple bass. It's on the album cover. Isaac Hayes was on there. Jack Holder. A lot of cats cut on that album. Etta James.
You gotta give me a list of albums you played on.
I'll give you a list, man.
I need a list, man.
Etta James. I did gig with Etta James long before we did that album.
Okay.
It was just people. I just went in. I wouldn't never like I'm playing with Etta James.
Yep.
Man, there's some people I play with I forgot.
Yep.
And it wasn't just one gig. Mm-hmm. So, not even thinking of it then, they called Eric Clapton.
Yep.
I got that gig through Nathan East not being able to do the gig and Willie Weeks. Mm-hmm. He was on the road with Wayne the Judge. Yep. And I was in Europe and I got the gig with Eric Clapton for a while, man. And that's another story.